All right, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Education for Homewood School District 153 for Monday, March 16th, 2026. Roll call, please.
Mr. Booth?
Here.
Mrs. Popelka? Mrs. DeFay? Mr. Schmidt?
Here.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Here.
Mrs. Scully?
Here.
Mr. Bosch?
Here.
I'm present.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the regular Board of Education meeting for February 16th, 2026. Are there any questions or corrections or edits? Do we have a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, motion carries. Future dates.
Yes, good evening, everybody.
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening, yeah, thank you. Just looking for my future dates. Here we go. You won't believe it by looking outside, but spring break is coming, I promise. That begins on 2 weeks from now. It's actually the latest spring break we've had in some time, but March 30th, April 3rd is spring break. And then, of course, that goes into Easter weekend, but we will be back the Monday after Easter. And then registration for next school year begins on April 15th. So you'll be hearing more about that through the website and the school newsletters. That's it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Next thing is presentations, and I see we have one today.
Yes, at this time, I would like to introduce Scott Dunzer from Whipley, the accounting firm who did our audit, and he will present the FY25 audit results.
Great.
Welcome. If we could have you speak directly into a microphone so our recording can pick it up. We'll just grab one of these, and you can grab mine for that matter. There you go. Okay. There you go. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for having me. I just want to get right into the audit reports and the results of the audit. So I hope everybody had a chance to take a look at it, and if you have any questions, please let me know. I just want to start off with talking about our audit opinion. Pages 1, 2, and 3 of the report. The district, as in past years, issues cash basis or modified cash basis financial statements. That's not general accepted accounting principle, but it is an acceptable format for report for Illinois School District reporting by Illinois State Board of Education, and it's a common practice for many districts to report that way. So our opinion has that exception in there, but we believe that these financial statements are fairly stated in all material respects based on our audit evidence that we gained during the audit. In addition to the audit opinion here under a separate report we do issue is related to internal controls. It's called, I just want to talk about it briefly, Independent Auditors Report on Internal Control over Financial Reporting and the Compliance and other matters based on an audit of financial statements performed in accordance with government auditing standards. That's a mouthful. But we're required to audit Illinois school districts under government auditing standards, which is a little more in depth in internal controls we go into. That being said, we don't issue an opinion per se on internal controls that say they're working effectively or the best or whatever, but we do have to assess them, document them, and we use that to base our, to develop our audit procedures that we do. As part of that, we did not note any significant deficiencies or material weaknesses in the controls to report in that letter. That being said, internal controls always an ongoing thing. It's based on the size of we think the controls are appropriate based on the size of the district and the amount of people and the amount of staff that have in there. So that's a good thing. A little bit results of operations. I just want to go over. There's basically in the audit report 2 types of statements. There's a government-wide financial statements on 5 and 6. Government-wide financial statements. Take all the funds, squeeze them down into one column. It has capital assets and also has bond debt, long-term debt. It comes down and leaves an equity or an opposition. The district ended the year with about $23.6 million in that position. There was a little bit of an increase over the prior from 18 to 23. The next set of financial statements in here are the fund financial statements, and those are the ones probably we're more used to because that's how you budget that's how you levy, that's how you manage day-to-day operations of the district. District ended the year with about just over $16 million in cash on hand. We report on a cash basis, so we don't have any receivables or payables listed, so it's just your cash on your balance sheet. And we actually had a positive net income this year, about $3 million, before we take into account with some debt issuance monies that came in. So that's a good thing. We actually had net income moving forward in these times. Just want to talk a little bit too about what I've seen in the past 5 years and moving forward. And I think the past 5 years were really actually since COVID, a pretty good time for school districts. We're very well financially. There was extra monies coming in. Sometimes right at COVID, expenses sort of dropped off because there was limited stuff they could do. Building closures, and then we also had a lot of federal monies came in. So there was a good times. I see that potentially changing a little bit. And then I saw all that extra federal money is gone. Those extra funds, I believe the federal funding will be pretty much flat moving forward. I don't think the state is in a very good position to put extra funds, extra discretionary funds into school districts. And I don't think, because inflation came a little bit, and the CPI came down, your property tax revenues aren't going to be increasing as fast. As you were at the maximum, I think, for a few years, and now those will drop down. So those are all things to think about moving forward. I think it's going to be a little bit tougher to keep budgets balanced, moving forward. But you're starting in a fairly good, a solid position, because you can have some deficits once, but if you have structural deficits year after year, that's not sustainable moving forward, because your expenses go up every year, your budgets go up every year, or your property taxes go up every year, so your fund balances should go up too. And the only way they can go up is if you have positive net income. So, I also want to say we issued we filed a regulatory report with Illinois State Board of Education. It's an Excel workbook. It mirrors the fund financial statement and the audit report. Every school district in Illinois is required to file that. So that has been done, I think in January we sent that in. And as part of that, it calculates out a financial profile summary score based on a 4.0 scale. District received a 3.7 this year, which is still recognition category. So that's good. The only area that you scored lower than a 4.0 was percentage of long-term debt margin. So we found that compared to as a relationship to your EAB, your margin, lower down. So, I just want to thank Eric and his team for providing all the information, because it's so timely. It's a pleasure to work with the district, and look forward to continuing relationship in the future. So with that being said, if there's any questions that you may have, I'd be glad to try and answer them as best I can now, or get back to you if I need to.
Board? I guess one thing I would say is I thank Dr. Trimberger and the staff for all the work that they did for the audit, and also Dr. McAllister. And I think, one of the things that Scott had mentioned was structural deficit. We don't have a structural deficit anymore. So I think, that obviously has something to do with the fact that we were successful with our referendum a few years ago, also with the state. So I think, hopefully I think it's a reflection on the community supporting the schools, and that we're in a much better position to do what we need to do for our students, for our staff, and everyone involved within our district and our community. So that was something very positive, I thought, to see in this audit report. All right. If not, thank you very much, Scott, for your presentation and your explanation.
Yeah,
and the work you do.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Have a great rest of your meeting, and thanks for the microphone.
All right, next thing on the agenda is audience participation. This is a time where it's limited to items that are not on this evening's agenda. Nothing from the audience participation?
Stick back there, if you want to say something.
Pursue your daughter.
All right. Board response. Do we have any response to questions or concerns raised by the audience at previous meetings?
We do not.
Thank you. Next section is reported board committees and meetings. Do we have any reports from any committee meetings that have taken place since our last?
Yes,
board?
we had an early meeting, F&P, last week, discussing our bids, and we had some adjustments which will be shared later, in regards to our systems. Left me very quick, our HVAC system. And then we had to have some discussions. It's great coming off the cusp of, net income discussion about the audit. Things are not the same. So we began to have discussions in regards to our path forward to ensure that we're able to get our deficit down even further from an operating budget. So good meeting, and that's pretty much just it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, if not, superintendent's report is next.
Yeah, I just want to follow up on the auditor's report that you just heard. And one of the key things, and Mr. Zennerman, you just referenced this as well, the new monies we're going to have coming in over the next several years, we've talked about this, every time we do a levy, it is limited to the rate of inflation or 5%, whichever is less. Well, the last couple of years, as you just heard, again, we were able to levy the max 5% because inflation was actually in excess of that. So new monies being generated because of that were higher than what we traditionally had seen and what we will see in the future, right? So moving forward, the inflation rate last year was less than 3%, so our levy will be less than 3% moving forward, and that just limits the ability of a district, any district, to cover the increased costs that we're seeing. So that's just an aside, and again, it just kind of supports what we just heard from the audit. Other announcements, tomorrow, this is a reminder to all of our families, we've advertised this well, it's on our website, but tomorrow is an e-learning day. As I was walking down here this evening for a meeting, I walked by the gym and they're setting up for the polling place. And I understand the need for Cook County to have polling centers. Schools are convenient, but it's also very frustrating to us and any other school that has to host as a polling site because school safety is incredibly important. Yet at the same time, our government asks us to open our doors to anybody and everybody to come through our buildings during the school day. James Hart, this campus, it's possible to do it and limit the interaction with the public and students. Churchill is also used as a polling center, and it is simply not conceivable to have the public in that building. I mean, it's literally in the public space that our kids are located in. So we've made the decision tomorrow to have an e-learning day because of that. But I want all of you to know, when we talked about this, we have appealed to the Board of Elections saying, please don't use this is the concern, and again, it's not limited to us. But we've been told repeatedly, you will be a polling center. It's not even a negotiation. So until we get that changed, we will have e-learning days if there's an election. This week, IAR testing begins, and this is the big statewide test that you see on the Illinois report card. We have always emphasized that our students are the result of a lot of different things, and academic progress is clearly important. It's not the sole metric by which we judge our success, but it's definitely an important one. So be on the lookout. We've been publicizing again to families, make sure your kids are here, on time, well-rested, well-fed, so that they can do their best. But we're excited about that. Our staff has done a great job of preparing for those upcoming tests. And then last month, I mentioned at this meeting that we had our compliance visit. Actually, it was coming up 2 days after our board meeting. And they did come in, ISC 4 came in, reviewed everything. It was an extensive audit, and we did a great job. I mentioned Morgan Constable and Catherine Zarnicki and Nicole Madden specifically, Mary Kay, people who contributed a lot to preparing for that visit. And again, it went very well. We're tying up a few of the loose ends on that. but I wanted all of you to know that it did go incredibly well, and ISC4 was very complimentary of the work we did.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Moving on to the consent agenda items. The first item is to authorize the chief school business official to pay the usual and customary bills for April 2026. Any questions or comments?
No, just, and again, I'm sure we can discuss it after P. I'm curious as we go forward, your student personal homes, bills are going up, right? And just, I think at some point in time, we need to kind of, make sure that the public understands the cost of doing business over the next, 6 months or so. I think that would be helpful for us as we, as I mentioned earlier, look at how we can ensure that our operating budget is suitable for us to function. And so, I know that we do consent. Typically, we'll share, we do emotions as far as cost and everything, but I think going forward, we can consider sharing a few more details or an example of how our costs of doing business, that's going to increase. That'll be.
Thank you. The next item is the approval of the revised 2026-2027 school calendar.
Yeah, last month, the board approved the school calendar for next year, only to discover the next day that we only counted 29 days in April. And of course, April has 30 days. So we needed to add another day, and what we are doing is Casimir Pulaski Day was omitted from the version that was adopted. Casimir Pulaski Day will be a holiday on next year's calendar. So this calendar, the only change from the one you approved last month and the one that we are recommending for adoption for next year, adds Pulaski Day as a day off.
Next item is the personnel report.
Yes, I want to point out, we received several letters of intent to retire, and it's always sad but exciting for these individuals as they announce their retirement, albeit several years down the road. So I'd like to congratulate Kanakalata Maradi from Churchill School, Melinda Halicki from James Hart, Lynn Liptak from Willow, Tina Kennerbrew and Sarah White from James Hart, and assistant principal at Willow School, Nancy Wood, has announced her retirement. Nancy is a longtime member of our district. All of them are retiring at least, or no earlier than 2 years from now, and in Nancy's case, 5 years from now. So we have a lot of time left with her, but congratulations to all those people on their retirement announcements.
Any questions or comments on the personnel report? All right, if not, do we have an approval for the consent agenda items?
Motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented, in item 7A, 7B, and 7C.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Popelka? Yes. Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Abstain?
Mrs. Scully?
yes,
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Bosch?
Yes.
5 ayes.
Motion carries. Moving on to the action agenda items. First item is the second payment of February 2026 bills and the first payment of March 2026 bills. Are there any questions or comments? Anyone has remaining? Haven't been answered yet? If not, we have a motion.
Moved upon the recommendation of the chief school business official that the Board of Education authorize the second payment of February 2026 bills and the first payment of March 2026 bills in an amount not to exceed $2,778,532.87.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mrs. Scully?
yes,
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mrs. Popelka? Yes. Mr. Bosch?
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next item is to accept the audit report for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2025. Any questions or comments? Has that been answered already? motion?
Moved upon the recommendation of the chief school business official that the Board of Education accept the FY25 audit as presented.
Second?
Excuse me, roll call, please.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mrs. Scully?
Yes.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mrs. Popelka?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Bosch?
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next item, award the bid for the HVAC work to Quality Control Systems Incorporated.
Yes, I'd like to invite Dr. Trimberger up at this time to talk about the summer work that we've been discussing.
Okay, so we had Studio GC and our engineering firm, 2010 Engineering, prepare these bid specifications. We did the pre-purchase of equipment at the last board meeting, so that equipment is on order, and all indications are it will come on time for installation this summer, so we're crossing our fingers. We had a mandatory pre-bid meeting on February 25th, where we had 6 companies come out and attend and walk the site. March 5th, all 6 companies did submit bids. Our low bid is from Quality Control Systems at an amount of $2,180,000. Quality Control did a substantial amount of work for the board on your last major project in 2022, I believe. And Kevin and Paul were very happy with their workmanship, so they were excited that they were our low bid.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Nope, glad we had several bids to look at.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Trimberger. With that, do we have a motion?
Moved upon the recommendation of the chief school business official that the Board of Education award the bid for the replacement of the James Harden mechanical units and Willow unit ventilators to Quality Control Systems, Inc. in the amount of $2,180,000.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Scully?
Yes.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mrs. Popelka?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Bosch?
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next item is employment.
Two people for employment, Laisha Kenzie Park, an assistant at Churchill, and Carolyn McComb, a food service worker throughout the district.
Any questions or comments? If not, do we have a motion?
Moved upon the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Education approve the employment of Laisha Kenzie Park, effective March 2nd, 2026, and Carolyn McComb, effective March 18, 2026, upon the terms recommended by the superintendent, conditioned only upon receipt of a satisfactory criminal background report, and upon receipt no later than March 15, 2026, of evidence of proper legal qualifications for the position to be filled.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mrs. Popelka?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mrs. Scully?
Yes.
Mr. Bosch?
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is discussion items. Does anyone on the board have anything they wish to discuss? All right. Do we have any written communication to the board? No?
No.
Thank you. With that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good night.